Betrayed by her friend and her ex, she invented a fake marriage. She just didn't expect the billionaire. The rain was hammering the cafe window when Mia Thompson saw the photos. Not just any photos. Her best friend of 15 years, Lauren, tangled in the sheets with Mia's fiancé of 4 years, Ethan. The worst part? The timestamp was 2 nights after Ethan had cried in Mia's arms, promising he'd never hurt her again. The betrayal hit her like a freight train. She couldn't breathe. The phone slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor, just like every promise they'd ever made her. That same night, drunk on cheap wine and pure rage, Mia did something insane. She posted on Instagram a blurry photo of a man's hand, some random stock image she found online, wearing a wedding band, her own fingers intertwined with his, a diamond the size of a small planet on her ring finger. Caption: married the love of my life today. Some things are worth keeping private until they're perfect. Forever starts now. She turned off her phone, cried herself to sleep, and woke up to 40,000 likes and a flood of messages asking who the mystery man was. Her fake marriage had gone viral overnight. First cliffhanger: 2 days later, while she was hiding in her tiny apartment drowning in ice cream and self-pity, someone knocked. Not a gentle knock. A rich person knock. 3 sharp, expensive raps that sounded like they cost money. She opened the door a crack and froze. Standing there in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her yearly rent was Alexander Voss, 34, devastatingly handsome, and the most eligible billionaire on the East Coast. The man every tabloid wanted dead or naked, preferably both. And he was staring at her like she owed him something. "Mrs. Voss," he said calmly, holding up his phone with her Instagram post enlarged. "We need to talk about our marriage." Streaked face, and something softened in his expression. "I'm not here to take anything from you, Emily. I'm here to give something back." Her world tilted. "How do you know my name?" He reached slowly into his coat. She tensed, finger trembling on the trigger, and pulled out a yellowed envelope sealed with red wax. The handwriting on the front was unmistakable. It was her grandfather's. The first cliffhanger hit her like a punch. The man who could buy the entire state knew her dead grandfather's secrets, and he'd flown through a gathering blizzard to deliver them. Alexander held the letter out. "He wrote this the week before he passed. He made me promise, if things ever got this bad, I'd bring it to you myself." Emily's hands shook so hard she nearly dropped the rifle. She took the letter like it might burn her. Inside was a single photograph, her at 8 years old, grinning gap-toothed beside a much younger Alexander Cole, and a note in Grandpa's shaky scrawl. "If you're reading this, little sparrow, the wolves are at the door. Trust the man holding this letter. He's rough around the edges, but he's the only one who ever saw this land the way you and I do. He owes me a debt bigger than money. Let him pay it. Love always, Grandpa." She looked up, stunned. "You knew him?" Alexander's jaw tightened. "I was 22, angry at the world, and he gave me a job when no one else would. Taught me how to work with my hands instead of a checkbook. Saved my life, really." His gaze drifted over the peeling barn, the broken fences. "I promised I'd watch over this place. Over you. I didn't know how bad it had gotten until the bank auction notice hit my desk last week." Emily laughed once, a broken sound. "So the billionaire swoops in to play hero? I don't need pity." "It's not pity," he said fiercely. "It's a debt." The wind picked up. Snowflakes started to fall, early, too early for Montana. Alexander glanced at the sky. Storms coming in fast. Worse than forecasted. Clutched in her fist like it was burning her skin. Alexander chased after her, calling a name she'd never heard before, Ava. "Please." She kept running until her lungs screamed and her cheap heels snapped. Collapsing on a park bench, she sobbed into her hands. If this was real, if he was her father, then everything she believed about being abandoned, about being worthless, was wrong. But how could she trust it? Rich men can buy anything. Even fake DNA tests. Even actresses to play dead wives. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text with a video attachment. Hands shaking, she pressed play. It was home footage, shaky, early 2000s quality. A woman, Lily, laughing, holding a giggling baby up to the camera. Say hi to Daddy, Ava. Wave to Daddy who's working too hard again. Baby Ava gurgled and grabbed at the star necklace. Then Alexander's younger voice off camera, I'm coming home early tonight, I promise. Tell Mommy I love her. The video ended. Emily watched it 8 times, tears streaming, until the phone battery died. She didn't know how long she sat there before headlights swept across the path. A black car stopped. Alexander stepped out, not the polished billionaire from the restaurant, but a man who looked like he'd aged 10 years in an hour. He didn't approach, just stood 10 feet away. I'll wait as long as you need. Forever if I have to. But please, let me tell you the whole story. Third cliffhanger, Emily looked up, eyes red, voice raw. Start talking. Because if any of this is a lie, I swear I'll disappear so completely you'll never find me again. Alexander nodded and began. He told her how he and Lily met in college, poor art student and scholarship kid against the world. How they married young and had Ava, Emily, when he was still building his company from nothing. How the company exploded overnight, making him one of the youngest billionaires in the country. How the money changed everything. Powerful people wanted his tech. When he refused to sell, threats started. Strange cars following Lily. Phone calls saying they knew his family's every move. Then one rainy night in 2003, Lily and 6-month-old Ava vanished on the way home from the grocery store. The car was found wrecked at the bottom of a cliff. Dental records confirmed Lily. The baby's DNA was inconclusive, but the coroner said it was common with fire damage. Alexander showed her the old newspaper articles on his phone. Billionaire's wife and infant daughter killed in tragic accident. He told her how he stopped living that night. Gave away most of his money to orphanages, that's why the world thought he'd disappeared. Spent 18 years searching quietly, paying private investigators, following dead ends across 3 continents. Until 6 months ago, one investigator noticed something strange. The original crash scene photos showed no baby car seat in the wreckage. And a nurse from the small coastal town hospital remembered a woman bringing in a baby girl with a star necklace the same week, claiming she was found abandoned. Alexander hired geneticists. Paid for discrete DNA collection from foster system records. Waited. The match came back 99.9998%. He didn't believe it at first. Refused to hope again. Then Mia's boyfriend, who worked at one of the charities Alexander funded, mentioned setting up his boss with this sweet girl from the diner who wears a star necklace every single day. Alexander almost cancelled the date out of fear. But he came anyway. Emily listened without interrupting, arms wrapped around herself against the cold. When he finished, silence stretched between them like a canyon. Finally she whispered, all those years. I thought nobody wanted me. Alexander's voice broke again. I wanted you every single day. I just didn't know you were still out there to want. She looked at the necklace in her palm. Mom kept me safe. She must have run. Left me where someone would find me. Alexander nodded. She saved your life. And it cost. Hers. Emily stood slowly. Took one step. Then another. Until she was close enough to see the gray in his hair that hadn't been there in the old photos. She reached out, hesitant, and touched his cheek, the same way baby Ava had reached for the necklace in the video. Daddy? The word felt foreign and perfect at the same time. He pulled her into his arms like she was still 6 months old, sobbing into her hair. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't find you sooner." They stayed like that until the city woke up around them. Epilogue, 1 year later. Emily, now Ava Lily Cole, though she still answers to M, stands in front of a small house by the ocean, the same coastal town where she was found all those years ago. She's wearing the star necklace, polished bright again. Behind her, Alexander hangs a wooden sign above the door, "Lily's House, a home for children waiting to be found." Inside, kids who aged out of foster care without families laugh and cook dinner together. Emily teaches art classes on weekends. Alexander funds everything anonymously, but he's there every evening, pushing kids on swings, burning pancakes, learning how to be a dad at 48. Sometimes, when the sun sets over the water, Emily touches the necklace and whispers thank you to a mother she never got to know, but who loved her enough to give her away so she could live. And if you walk past Lily's house at night, you might see a father and daughter on the porch, looking at the stars. One star in particular shines brighter than the rest. They say it's Lily, watching over the little girl she saved, and the man who never stopped looking. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button. It really helps more people find these stories of hope. And if you're not subscribed yet, join the family. Turn on notifications, because next week we have another one that'll make you cry for all the right reasons.